In a men's health clinic outside Kyoto, I watched something that changed how I treat patients forever. 80-year-old men achieving full erections in under 90 seconds. No pills, pumps, or injections. Just one ancient trigger that Western doctors were never taught in medical school. What I discovered wasn't about diet, supplements, or exercise routines. It was a 60-second morning ritual that reactivates your body's natural blood flow mechanism. The same mechanism you had at 30, 40, even 50. It's still there. You just need to know how to flip the switch. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to use it. And more importantly, you'll understand why most men over 60 have accidentally shut this system down without even realizing it. But first, let me tell you what happens inside your body between 6 and 8 in the morning. Because this is the window that changes everything. Here's what you need to know right now. Between 6 and 8 a.m., your testosterone and nitric oxide spike naturally. Scientists call this your circadian arousal window. It's when your blood vessels are most responsive to signals for expansion and firmness. This is biology, not luck. Your body is literally primed for performance during these 2 hours. But here's the problem. Most men waste it completely. They're dehydrated from 8 hours of sleep. Their nervous system is stuck in stress mode from decades of tension. They're breathing shallow, using only the top third of their lungs. So that window opens for 90 minutes and then closes. And nothing happens. The blood that should be flooding your pelvic region stays sluggish, thick, oxygen poor. The nitric oxide that should be telling your vessels to expand never gets produced. And your nervous system, instead of signaling rest and restoration, stays locked in survival mode. I am Dr. May Anderson. I've spent 25 years specializing in men's sexual health. And I discovered this ritual during a medical conference in Tokyo 3 years ago. I met a urologist named Dr. Takashi Yamamoto, who'd been practicing in rural Okinawa for 40 years. During a break between sessions, I asked him the question I ask every colleague in my field. What percentage of your older male patients struggle with erectile dysfunction? He looked at me confused and said, maybe 10%. And most of those have diabetes or severe heart disease. I was shocked. In my practice in the United States, it's closer to 60% of men over 70. So I asked him what the difference was between Okinawa and America. He smiled and said something I'll never forget. We breathe differently here. And we start every morning with it. That one sentence changed my entire approach to treating men. Because when I dug into what he meant, I realized Western medicine has been ignoring one of the most powerful tools for male circulation. And it costs absolutely nothing. Dr. Yamamoto invited me to spend a week at his clinic. What I saw there wasn't just remarkable. It was proof that everything we've been taught about aging and male performance is incomplete. I watched men in their 70s, 80s, even their 90s walk into his clinic with energy, confidence, and vitality that most American men lose by 65. And when I asked what they did differently, the answer kept coming back to the same thing. A morning practice so simple, so quick, that most Western doctors would dismiss it as irrelevant. Let me tell you about James. He's 74, a retired postal worker from Ohio. When he walked into my office 2 years ago, he was frustrated, exhausted, and honestly, he'd almost given up. He told me he hadn't woken up with morning firmness in 8 years. Not once. His wife had stopped initiating intimacy. The distance between them was growing. He said, "Doc, I wake up feeling dead below the waist. I don't even feel like a man anymore." James had tried everything. Medications gave him headaches and made his heart race. The side effects were so bad he stopped taking them after 2 months. Supplements didn't move the needle. He'd spent hundreds of dollars on bottles promising to boost testosterone, improve circulation, restore vitality. Nothing worked. His previous doctor told him, "It's just your age. Learn to accept it." But James wasn't ready to accept it. And I'm glad he didn't. Because here's what most men don't realize. Weak morning erections aren't just embarrassing. They're not just a bedroom problem. They're your body's first warning sign that something deeper is wrong. Cardiologists call erectile dysfunction the canary in the coal mine. Poor blood flow to your penis means poor blood flow everywhere. To your heart. To your brain. To your kidneys. Studies show that men who ignore weak erections are 3 times more likely to suffer a major cardiovascular event within 5 years. Heart attacks, strokes, sudden cardiac arrest. That's not me trying to scare you. That's published medical research from the American Heart Association. But it's not just physical. I've sat across from hundreds of men like James who told me they avoid intimacy because the fear of failure is worse than the loneliness. I've seen marriages grow cold not because love died, but because embarrassment built a wall neither partner knew how to tear down. James told me he'd started making excuses to avoid family beach trips. He didn't want to change in front of his sons. He felt ashamed of his body in a way he never had before. He said his energy was gone, his mood was flat, and he felt like he was disappearing as a man. His wife asked him once if he was still attracted to her. That question broke his heart because the truth was, he loved her more than ever. But his body wouldn't cooperate. And he didn't know how to explain that without making it worse. That's when I knew this wasn't about performance. It was about identity. About feeling like the man he'd always been. About waking up and recognizing himself in the mirror. So I explained to James what was really shutting down his morning blood flow. And once you understand this, everything else makes sense. Here's what happens. Your body produces something called nitric oxide naturally. It's a molecule that tells your blood vessels to expand and let blood rush in. Without nitric oxide, no amount of stimulation will create firmness. It's the biological ignition switch for erections. Medications like Viagra and Cialis work by trying to preserve the nitric oxide your body produces. But if your body isn't producing much to begin with, those medications have nothing to work with. But after 60, 3 things decline simultaneously. Your nitric oxide production drops by about 50% between age 40 and 70. That's a massive decline. Your vagus nerve tone weakens, which means you stay in stress mode longer and recover more slowly. And your blood becomes more viscous, thicker, because of inflammation, reduced hydration, and changes in red blood cell flexibility. These 3 factors create a perfect storm for circulation problems. It's like a garden hose that's kinked from stress, clogged with thick blood, and the valve is rusted shut from low nitric oxide. Nothing flows properly. You can have all the desire in the world, all the stimulation you want, but if blood can't get where it needs to go, nothing happens. Now here's where it gets interesting. Research from Okinawa Medical University found that men who do targeted morning breathing have 40% higher nitric oxide levels throughout the day. Not from supplements. Not from medications. Just from breathing correctly at the right time. They also found that men who practice this type of breathing have lower cortisol levels, better parasympathetic nervous system tone, and significantly improved blood viscosity. In simple terms, their blood flows better, their stress hormones are lower, and their bodies are in a state that supports rather than fights performance. When I explained this to James, I could see the skepticism in his eyes. He said, "Doc, you're telling me 60 seconds of breathing is going to fix what pills couldn't." I told him, "Give me 60 seconds every morning for 2 weeks. If nothing changes, we'll try something else." He agreed. And what happened next surprised both of us. But before I tell you what happened to James, you need to understand the exact mechanism behind this ritual. Because once you see how it works, you'll understand why it's so powerful. And why Western medicine has completely overlooked it. The ritual does 3 things simultaneously. First, it activates your vagus nerve. This is the nerve that controls your rest and digest system, the opposite of fight or flight. Most men over 60 spend most of their day in low-level stress mode. Their sympathetic nervous system is dominant. That means blood vessels stay constricted, cortisol stays elevated, and the body prioritizes survival over restoration. When you stimulate your vagus nerve correctly using deep diaphragmatic breathing, your blood vessels relax and dilate. That's step 1. Opening the pathways. Creating space for blood to flow freely instead of being squeezed through narrow, constricted vessels. Step 2. It triggers a massive release of nitric oxide. This happens when you combine deep breathing with a specific pelvic floor engagement. Your pelvic floor is rich with blood vessels and nerve endings. When you contract and release those muscles repeatedly, You're essentially pumping fresh blood into your pelvic region. The pressure change forces your body to produce nitric oxide locally, right where you need it most. This is completely different from taking a supplement or medication. You're not putting something foreign into your body. You're activating your body's own natural production system. The system that worked perfectly when you were younger. It's still there. It just needs the right signal. Step 3. It oxygenates your blood rapidly. Most men breathe shallow, only using the top third of their lungs. That means your blood stays oxygen poor. When blood doesn't have enough oxygen, it becomes thicker, slower, less responsive. But when you breathe deeply into your belly, while engaging your pelvic muscles, you force fresh oxygen into your circulation. Oxygen-rich blood is thinner, faster, and more responsive to nitric oxide signals. Think of it this way. Your body is like a car engine. The vagus nerve is the ignition. Nitric oxide is the fuel injector. And oxygen is the fuel itself. You need all three working together to get the engine running smoothly. If one is missing, the whole system fails. That's not magic. That's physiology. That's how your body was designed to work. And the beautiful part is that your body is designed to do this naturally during that 6 to 8 a.m. window I mentioned earlier. You're just giving it the trigger it's been waiting for. You're working with your biology instead of against it. So here's the exact 60-second ritual I taught James. The same one practiced by men in Okinawa who stay vital well into their 90s. You'll do this right when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you eat, before you do anything else. It takes 60 seconds total. That's less time than it takes to brush your teeth. Step 1 is deep pelvic breathing for 20 seconds. Sit on the edge of your bed. Place one hand on your chest, one on your belly. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts, letting your belly rise, not your chest. This is critical. Your belly should expand like a balloon. Most men do this wrong. They breathe into their chest. That's shallow breathing. It doesn't activate the diaphragm fully. Hold that breath for 2 counts. Then exhale through your mouth for 6 counts, letting your belly fall completely. Make the exhale longer than the inhale. This is what activates your vagus nerve. The extended exhale signals to your nervous system that it's safe to relax. Do this 3 times. 20 seconds total. You're waking up your vagus nerve and flooding your body with oxygen. This isn't just relaxation. You're chemically changing your blood composition in real time. You're thinning your blood, increasing oxygen saturation, and telling your nervous system to shift from stress mode to restoration mode. Step 2 is pelvic floor pulses for 20 seconds. Now, while still breathing deeply, engage your pelvic floor muscles. These are the same muscles you'd use to stop urination midstream. If you're not sure where these muscles are, that's the test. Next time you urinate, stop the flow midstream. Those are your pelvic floor muscles. Squeeze them firmly for 3 seconds. You should feel a distinct contraction in your pelvic region. Release for 2 seconds. Repeat this 6 times. 20 seconds total. This directly stimulates blood flow to your pelvic region and triggers nitric oxide release. You're not just exercising muscles. You're activating the exact mechanism that creates firmness. Every contraction and release pumps fresh, oxygenated blood into the tissues that need it most. Some men tell me they feel a tingling sensation during this step. That's normal. That's blood flow increasing. That's your body waking up. Step 3 is full body tension release for 20 seconds. Stand up slowly. Take a deep inhale and tense every muscle in your body. Make fists. Tighten your legs. Squeeze your core. Clench your face. Tense your shoulders. Hold that tension for 5 seconds. Make it uncomfortable. You want maximum tension. Then exhale hard through your mouth and release everything at once. Let your whole body go loose. Shake out your arms. Roll your shoulders. Let the tension drain out completely. Do this twice. 20 seconds total. You're flushing cortisol out of your system and signaling to your body that it's safe to relax and restore. This final step resets your nervous system from fight or flight to rest and repair. It's like hitting the reset button on your stress response. That's it. 60 seconds. Deep breathing to activate your vagus nerve. Pelvic pulses to release nitric oxide. tension release to flush stress hormones. You're hitting all three problems at once. Oxygenating your blood. Releasing nitric oxide where you need it. Calming your nervous system. It's like unclogging the hose, opening the valve, and turning on the pressure all at the same time. James did this every morning for 2 weeks. He told me later that the first few days he didn't notice anything dramatic. Maybe a little more energy. Maybe slightly better focus. But nothing that made him think, this is working. He almost gave up on day 6. He thought, this is ridiculous. How is breathing going to fix anything? But he'd committed to 2 weeks. So he kept going. On day 9, something changed. He woke up with firmness he hadn't felt in 3 years. Not full, not like when he was 40, but enough to make him stop and think. Wait, this is real. This is actually happening. He didn't tell his wife yet. He wanted to see if it would happen again. Day 10, nothing. Day 11, it happened again. By week 3, it was happening most mornings. His wife noticed he was more present, more affectionate. She said he seemed lighter somehow. More like the man she married. By week 4, they were intimate for the first time in over a year. And James told me something I'll never forget. He said, "Doc, it's not just about sex. I'm sleeping better. My mood is better. I have energy in the afternoons. I feel like I have my body back. I feel like myself again." His blood work confirmed what he was feeling. Nitric oxide levels up 40%. Cortisol down 30%. Resting heart rate dropped 8 beats per minute. His blood pressure improved. Even his cholesterol numbers got better. All from 60 seconds a day. James is still doing the ritual 2 years later. He's 76 now. And he told me last month, "I feel more alive than I did at 70. I wish I'd known about this years ago." Now I know some of you are thinking, I've tried breathing exercises before and nothing happened. That's because most breathing protocols don't include the pelvic floor component. Without engaging those specific muscles, you're missing the direct stimulation to the area that needs it most. The pelvic floor is where the magic happens. When you contract and release those muscles repeatedly, you're pumping fresh blood into your pelvic region. Combined with oxygenated blood from deep breathing, you create a circulation surge that your body can't ignore. That's the difference between generic stress relief breathing and this targeted ritual. One addresses general tension. The other addresses the exact mechanism of male performance. Here's something quotable you'll want to remember. Morning wood isn't luck. It's biology. And if you've lost it, you haven't lost your manhood. You've just lost the 60-second trigger. James isn't the only one who's experienced this transformation. Robert, 82, came to me last year completely defeated. He told me it gave him morning confidence he thought was gone forever. After 6 weeks of the ritual, he said, "I'm not just waking up different. I'm living different." Marcus, 71, said his wife asked him, "What's gotten into you?" She hadn't seen that kind of energy in a decade. He told me they'd been talking about separate bedrooms before he started the ritual. Now they're planning a second honeymoon. Thomas, 68, told me his performance improved so much that he started feeling like a newlywed again. He said, "I thought this part of my life was over. I was wrong." This works because it's not a trick. It's not a gimmick. It's physiology. You're giving your body the foundational elements it needs to heal itself. Oxygen, relaxation, circulation. When you provide those 3 things consistently at the exact moment your body is most receptive, your body does the rest. Your body wants to perform. It's designed to perform. You're just removing the obstacles that have been in the way. And the beautiful thing is that it compounds over time. The men who see the fastest results are the ones who do this ritual at the exact same time every morning. Your body loves rhythm. When you train it to expect oxygen, activation, and relaxation at 7 a.m. every single day, it starts preparing for that moment. Your hormones align. Your nervous system anticipates. And over time, the benefits multiply. That's why James still does it 2 years later. It's become as automatic as brushing his teeth. And that's when real transformation happens. When a powerful practice becomes an effortless habit. Now here's what I need you to understand. This ritual only works if you're consistent. 1 morning won't cut it. 7 mornings won't cut it. But 30 mornings? That's when everything changes. That's when James started waking up different. That's when Robert felt alive again. That's when Marcus saved his marriage. Your body needs repetition to rewire its patterns. Give it 30 days of this 60-second ritual, and you'll be shocked at what changes. Not just in your bedroom, in your energy levels, in your mood, in your confidence, in how you carry yourself through the day. But here's the truth that might be hard to hear. This ritual won't help you if you're still eating the heart-healthy breakfast food your doctor told you to eat daily, that's blocking the same enzyme pathway we just activated. You're probably eating it tomorrow morning. If you don't stop, this ritual won't work. Period. In my next video, I'm exposing exactly what that food is and why it's keeping men stuck no matter what else they try. Even if you do this morning ritual perfectly, if you keep eating that food, you'll undo everything. You'll be taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. So if you want to avoid wasting your time with this ritual, if you want to make sure nothing is sabotaging your results, subscribe to Vital Health Seniors right now. That video drops in 3 days, and you cannot afford to miss it. This is the missing piece that most men never discover. And gentlemen, if this video helped you, if you learned something that could change your mornings, there's a man in your life who needs to hear this. Maybe it's a friend who's struggling in silence. Maybe it's a brother, a cousin, someone from church. Men don't talk about this stuff. They suffer alone, thinking it's just them, thinking it's just age, thinking there's nothing that can be done. So do me a favor. Hit that like button and share this video. Not for me, for him. Because you might be the reason he gets his confidence back. You might be the reason his relationship heals. You might be the reason he feels like himself again. And that's worth 5 seconds of your time. Let me leave you with this. The reason men in Okinawa stay vital into their 90s isn't genetics. It's not luck. It's not some secret supplement or expensive treatment. It's daily choices. 60 seconds every morning. That's the difference between decline and vitality. Between embarrassment and confidence. Between feeling old and feeling alive. You have that choice right now. Tomorrow morning, you can wake up and do nothing. Let that window close like it has every morning for years. Or you can take 60 seconds and flip the switch your body's been waiting for. James did it. Robert did it. Marcus did it. Thousands of men in Okinawa do it without thinking. The question is, will you? Your body still knows how to flood your penis with blood. You just need to remember how to ask. I'm Dr. May Anderson, and I'll see you in the next video.